In today's episode of Skating in Circles, we get to hear from a very inspiring individual who runs Burning Spider Stoke Company. This is a skate shop located in Kansas City, Missouri, but it's actually much more than that. And we are going to learn all about it from the man himself. So please join me in welcoming Joe Burnham to the podcast. Hello and welcome to Skating in Circles. I'm joined today by Joseph Burnham. Joe, how you doing?
Doing great. Got out and skated today, so I'm just doing awesome.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. So, so the people know, let's find out where are you right now?
I am in Kansas City, Missouri.
Kansas City, Missouri. And how long have you lived there?
I've been in Kansas City for about 23 years at this point in time, but the shop has been here this is our 11th year.
Wow, that's amazing. So I have a question that is kind of ambiguous, but I know you're going to have a good answer for me. And that is, what motivates you?
Oh man, what motivates me? Dude, so many oh man, you're like, boom, yo, what motivates you, Joey B? Look,
Yeah.
there's a lot of different little things. I've always had a drive or something like that to always kind of like work my hardest and not that I ever have to be the best at something, but I've always like, I just care a bunch. And so that caring about something tends to come out as like, I just jump into it and kind of give everything to it. So that's a lot of what kind of motivates me. I always try to be, like okay, I guess some other stuff be like, I kind of have a pet peeve about people that just complain about stuff and then don't have like a solution. Like if they just all they have, if the only thing someone brings to me is all the problems that they're facing, that's all they got. Like is this problem and then 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 this problem, this problem. Like okay, well, look, this is the first problem. Like let's solve this thing, and they haven't even got anything on that. Like I'm like, man, that's brutal. Like you got to start solving that stuff and figuring stuff out and trying different things. And a lot of that really has kind of motivated me a lot just to do the best I can, figure stuff out. It's not always going to be easy.
Yeah, so you would say like finding solutions and solving problems. So even today, just before the episode, we were having some trouble getting the recording set up, and you even said like, let's just take some time and try and figure it out. Otherwise, we're never gonna know.
Click this button. Yeah. Jack this button around. Oh, hey, next time this happens, I'm just going to friggin' do this. And then bam, easy peasy. Solutions, dude. Solutions.
That's how you learn. Yeah.
Yep.
So this is a skateboarding podcast. We got to know, when was your first time riding a skateboard?
My first time riding a skateboard would have had to have been when I was around like 17 and a half, 18 years old was my first time on a skateboard. Like really giving it a go and went out and bought a complete. My business partner, Billy Angus, it was the skateboarder in my life because at that point in time I was actually doing a lot of aggressive inline skating.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so I was like, okay, dude, I want to try this skateboard. And it was Billy was kind of one of those dudes when we were coming up and kids, like he was the dude I session with. Like we'd skate, I'd get off work and we'd go skate until like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'd wake up and go to school. And that's kind of what we did. But he was a skateboarder and I was an aggressive inline dude, but we both had a desire to build ramps and and then we started attracting a lot more people just because we had these ramps in this parking lot that we had permission to use and bam, yeah. So that was back in 17. So I tried it out to hey, Billy tried inlines. I should try skateboarding. Let me see how this works. And all I did was cruise around. Like that's all. It was just like the standard popsicle. It wasn't a longboard at all.
Cool.
And I didn't really do anything with that, like at all, until I didn't step on another skateboard then until I was 30. So that would have been 2010. And then so the longboarding just like I felt like exploded like right about that time. And it was just everywhere. Or I just became completely obsessed with it.
No, I think you're right. The scene exploded in 2010 era, and when you started, even you're talking like 97 is when you had that
Yep,
popsicle.
97. Yeah.
So that's like right when longboards started to become a thing, and when skateboarding started to become cool again. So it's no surprise that you ended up back into it.
Yep. And dude, the way that the longboard moved really is really what kind of captivated me. It was like, dude, like, oh my God, like this is kind of the motion I've been chasing through all of this inline skating stuff. And then, I did mountain biking and rock climbing and skydiving and exploring all these different ways to kind of to live and exist really. And yeah, that longboarding. Whoo! That was good stuff, dude. Good stuff. Still here, still at it,
The best way I've heard it described is like a magic carpet ride
dude. Yeah,
because you're so low
fully.
to the ground, but you're flowing, kind of side
Hmm.
to side at times, and
We just did the 50 miler earlier today, and that was it's all kind of paved trail for the most part. There's some city skating because we skate from the shop to like one trailhead and do just all the little dips in the concrete and once you get up to a certain speed, like a little bit past that 12-mile-an-hour mark, you can just kind of glide along and use that just enough force to be able to kind of like, pump into it a little bit or dude, so good. And then you get like 7 hours of that action. Heck yeah, sign me up
so
twice.
you did a 50-mile ride today.
Uh-huh.
Nice, nice. And you're saying you can go straight from your skate shop
Yeah.
out to, what is it, a trail, or what do you ride?
Well, we've got it. It's a trail, so it's a series of trails actually. So there is Kansas City itself has like five kind of paved trails, mostly paved trails, and I've figured out how to get a couple of them linked up, like from the shop to the trailhead of the Missouri side of one of these trail systems. And what's really rad about that is that, okay, so it's like 12 and a half miles from here to the trailhead. And then it's a 25 long trail that's all but maybe a quarter mile of it is paved or three quarters of a mile is not is like hard packed clay. So it's kind of poopy in that one spot. But
Right.
everything else is just these cool trails that run you through these really secluded parts of town. You're just there's so many little dips and dives in there. And so we went from here to the halfway point of the trail, which basically makes it a 25-mile kind of down there to there. And the way the trail is situated is that it goes uphill basically for the most part all the way to the Kansas side. And then we do that first, and then we turn around and then do the downhill part basically all the way back through. And it makes for a really, really good time. Really good time. It was fun.
Yeah, I imagine so. That sounds incredible. We don't have much like that up here in Maine. We don't have many paved trails, so just
Oh,
hearing
no
that
way.
you have a 25-mile it sounds like a 25-mile climb from what you said, basically.
Basically it's
Yeah.
climb. Like there's ups and downs and twists and turns and maybe a few cracks here and there you got to deal with and it's really fun to skate. Like we skated at least once a month. Like on the first Sunday of the month typically we're like, "Yo, let's go out to the Indian Creek Trail." And I had two other dudes with me today. Rydog and Tomka.
Cool. I was gonna say, who is we? Do you have a crew that you assemble?
Yeah, we got the Burning Spider Stoked community, man. Like I feel like the promise of Facebook, how they were like, oh, build your communities on here and do all this sort of stuff on our platform. And then you did, and then they kind of pull you with this nonsense where like, one of the things I feel that makes a community really really rad to be a part of is going out and skating with the community, you know what I'm saying? Like whether it's a chill spot, whether it's a more advanced spot, like whatever, like being able to communicate, yo, I feel the need to go out here and skate this spot, this is kind of what you can expect, just the details of the session, man. And if I get like, okay, I mean, it's not a big number, but if I get like 2,000 people on my Facebook group and one person wants to skate, and he's the only person that's posted that day, and Facebook was like, like I'm not gonna notify anyone that this post was even made, there's only gonna get so many things, going on, and I just don't feel like sharing this kind of post. Like you can go back through if you're an admin on any of those Facebook groups, and you can see that, yo, this very polite, nicely written, concisely written post isn't getting shared. But if some dude hops on there and starts dropping a bunch of crazy hate speech or F bombs or any stuff like that, like all of a sudden, like boom, everybody gets tagged in that. Dude, like we did a test on our Facebook group, Kansas City Longboard Community, just here recently. And I was like, yo, so when you guys want a session, I was like, write just a bunch of cuss words. Like, just doesn't even make sense. And they did. And then, dude, everyone got tagged in it. So like, and even like on a business level with that, like, dude, I worked hard and I'm getting all these likes on my business Facebook profile, right? And we're doing what they tell us to do. And then you get to a point with any post like, yo, I would love to be able to post on my Facebook to the Facebook community, hey, we're gonna go be over here and we're gonna skate over here. Yo, there's a Stoke clinic this weekend and da 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 da. But even if I do a catchy post and make, well written or any of that sort of good stuff, not the words matter on Facebook, but if I get it going and it's a cool post, Facebook is like, yo, this post is doing so good. Like it's better than 85% of your other posts. If you want us to share it to the rest of your following, pay us $5. Like, excuse me? That's extortion, dude. Like, that's not the way it was supposed to. Really? You're making billions off of our information and you want me to. I'm just trying to skate with my community, and you guys are, mucking up the works on that. So we've been using Discord. And so we started a Discord server, and what's been really, really cool with Discord's kind of like set. I mean, it's really simple. Although like some of our members of our community who are more into coding are starting to kind of like, hey, what if we can like, use Strava's feed and post that to the like when any of our members get like, set up like with our Strava, we can post their miles, automatically to the mode distance spoke on our server. And we could keep track of it and kind of gamify it a little bit,
Yeah.
that'd be really cool, like as a community to reflect on like, yo, hey, we skated like, so many 100 miles or something like that this year. Like that would be really really rad. So there's a lot of cool potential in that. And the other cool thing that we've been using Discord, so we've got the other two people in the community that did the push with me, is they've got that voice box channel on there. And basically, so you can log into those things. Like we just did one of our voice boxes on the push. And so basically have in-game chat. If everyone's got headphones and earbuds, you're talking with each other while you're skating. And especially with all how windy stuff is and everything like that, you may not even be far apart from each other, but it gets kind of lonely. And dude, we're playing, dude, we had this. So Rydog one of the dudes that rode with us today, we came up with this game where, okay, if you're the first dude in line, you say howdy to the first person you meet. The second dude says howdy, howdy. And then the third person says howdy, howdy, howdy. And then ideally, if you have a fourth person, then it would just keep going.
Yep.
But so we're, giggling as we're, sweating our, just exhausting ourselves today. It was sub 90 degrees, but it was still really warm. It was still really warm. But yeah, so it's been a cool feature of the Discord, and kind of figuring out ways to use that to just make all the skates fun. We've even used it for like spotter chats. So when we do other outlaw events, you can generally, if you have signal, if you're in the city, because there's so much cool stuff to skate in the city, we generally have signal, and so I can have all of the spotters who are in the community probably log into that spotter chat, and we can talk about stuff, almost instantly up and down the hill. So it's helped us run events and all sorts of things.
Yeah, that's incredible, actually. I love that idea. I never thought about doing like a voice chat while skating. That's really cool.
Yep, it's a lot of fun. It really keeps your sometimes you get, especially if you're by yourself, you know what I'm saying? You get kind of like, oh, I'm not going as good as I want, and yada 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 yada, and so it's cool to have your buddies right there. I mean, they're right there with you on the push, but it's still, dude, this thing has worked out so on so many cool levels. My wife drives our vehicle to the turnaround point, fills up our water, all that sort of good stuff. We have a little snack, whatever. She'll hop on the group chat while we're skating. Hey, you guys still on time, and yada yada yada, and check up with us. So it's a good way to kind of like be able to kind of keep in touch with support crew. If we have people that don't really, maybe they're brand new to it and they can't push 25 miles. Hey, where are you guys at? What direction are you heading? And we've skated that trail enough now that I'm like, okay, I know generally what pace I normally push. I can generally tell them what time we're going to be around their area. And so we'll have people hop in and hop out of that and skate with us as much as they can. And it's really helped a lot with getting people that otherwise probably, might not have gotten out because, okay, hey, I don't know where the trailhead is. I don't know where you guys are. I kind of want to skate with you. Like, okay, if I can tell them, especially if it's a trail you're familiar with, you could tell them, park here, skate this direction, and we'll be along shortly. Especially if they're newer rider, your more experienced riders are going to be able to catch up with them anyway. So it's worked out really, really good.
I think you've pointed out a couple different things here, right? How poorly social media can work for you, right? Like with the Facebook, you were saying this person wrote a really nice post. They just want someone to skate with, but it's not getting any visibility
Hmm.
when it probably should, and it would probably do well if the right people saw it, right?
Right.
And then on the other hand, what you've done is you've taken matters into your own hands, right? You've created this Discord channel and used it in such a way to solve logistics problems when you have events, which I think is really incredible. And a lot of people could learn from that.
Events, sessions, dude, like our weekly sessions now post up on there, like so many different things. It's been really rad. Like, dude, we just dropped a video on our YouTube channel for the community kickoff. So it's a big event that we do on the third Saturday in or the third weekend in April, because really now it's taken up like 3 days of skating across a bunch of different stuff. Well, day on the downhill day, the plan was to get to the hill early and pick up bags, because there's a lot of people that dump stuff there and garbage, and so we were going to pick up the hill and have them in bags, and do some kind of cool stuff before we skated the hill basically. And I showed up, and there was another event on the hill for something completely different.
What?
And so I'm like, okay, crap, I need to direct all of these people now to a whole other, like, and luckily I had, two or three backup hills. Went to the second hill, that also had a cleanup thing, so like prevented me from really doing a safe downhill event, kind of thing like there. And so then I had my third, my ace, and it worked out well. But even despite all of that, dude, we got done with the event and enough time to go out and eat pizza in the middle of everything before we did the slide jam. And all of that was like, yo, I could tell the entire community exactly where to go park. Oh, hey, that did not work out. Here, come to this place. It's good now. And dude, yeah, it's a really, really, really great tool. Amazing tool. So many different things.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So you've been saying we a lot, and you mentioned your crew is the Burning Spider Stoke Company crew, whatever you
Yeah,
call
we
yourselves.
there's like the core guys we call the Burning Spider Stoke crew. And then our server is the Burning Spider Stoked community. So yeah, and the crew is like a lot of the dudes that come to like I kind of sponsorship for stores is kind of a weird thing, I think. I know I feel that in a lot of stores cases, like the idea is like, yo, let me, the best skater, the best skater, the best skater. But for me, man, like, dude, it's community isn't one store, it's not one guy. It's people that show up. It's people that put forth the energy to, or at least match the energy, or at least bring some kind of energy, to the events, and show up to these things, and also spread the word about these things, and bring other people to them, and are actively out there, like, lack of better terms, repping, man, like, bringing people to it. So a lot of the people to me that are I consider like the Stoke crew, like the homies. These dudes are helping me run events. They're, they want to compete, but man, like they also know, like, dude, there's a lot of stuff to do. And I mean, I'm gonna try to do it however I can, whatever I can by myself or with one or two people. Like I'm pretty good at getting by on some pretty sparse stuff. So like the more people, but the dudes that get it are the ones that see, oh, hey, I made this event that much better. Like then they start getting empowered and they start, bringing that. And then it's like, yo, it's not just me. It's not just, even, Billy or, any of the parts of the, you know, legal Burning Spider Stoke Company kind of thing. But do you got to have those people in the community with you, because if not, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%, 100%. So Burning Spider Stoke, that's also the name of your skate shop, right? Or no?
The burning so this is you're gonna find that everything we do fits inside of a BSSC initials. So the actual name of the company is the Burning Spider Stoke Company. And then the stuff we do is like the Burning Spider Stoke clinics, the Burning Spider Stoke crew, Burning Spider, and now the game, because it's gone on so long doing that, now the game, everything that we come up with, we try to figure out some way that it fits in the BSSC.
Right. So where does the name come from?
So Burning Spider, my last name is Burnham. And my business partner and best friend Billy Angus, when we were kids, teenagers, his nickname was Spider. So one thought was like, okay, Burnham Spider, but that sounded like a really weird law firm, and that's not really our style. So then I was like Burning Spider, and I'm like Burning Spider. I'm like, oh, that sounds kind of cool, dude. Like, let me Google it. Like, what am I up against on the internet right now? Like, burning spider wise. And literally, the only thing on the internet at the time was people setting spiders on fire on YouTube. And I was like, dude, like, no matter what else we do, if people remember Burning Spider, it's that and longboarding. We're set. Like, there's nothing to compete against. kind of avoided necessarily using skate shop in the title just because there's so many like ourselves, like even myself, like I've done so many different, type of, I guess, I'm a child of the 90s, so extreme sports, like aggressive, and like I've got that background and the mountain biking and skydiving and yada, 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 yada. So, and street luge, dude, that stuff's really, really freaking cool. So, like, we wanted to kind of keep ourselves like, yo, if we have the opportunity to be able to sell, street luges or drift trikes, those look like a good time. We've had some people around here that have used drift trikes. Like, we didn't want to necessarily be kind of shoehorned into just, okay, you're just a skate shop. Like, that's our focus, but it'd be cool to do some street luge. It'd be sick to do some street luge. We just haven't got there yet.
I don't think you need to limit yourself. I think that's
Yeah,
cool.
exactly.
Great way to look at it.
It's fun stuff. Brings people together.
So you do these Sunday Stoke clinics, right? I want to
Yep.
hear more about this. It's every second Sunday of the month, it looks like.
Every second Sunday of the month. This next one is July 9th. Um, and it will be our official like 9 years of doing these every single month. Minus, like weather and stuff like that. Sometimes, like, we can't do it in the weather. The big reason that we did these was the kids at the time, and especially when we started it 9 years ago, there was already starting to be kind of like fallout in the community. Like, as people kind of started pushing themselves, they would get injured and they would, not want to skate anymore. They hurt, their body doesn't want to do, they go and got insurance, stuff like that. So there was a lot of people that I started skating with that have kind of like slowed down or stopped skating, for one reason or the other. And the challenge around Kansas City is that we don't really have flat areas. Like, there's hills everywhere. Like, there's ups and downs and ups and downs. It's not hard. Like, even the hill that we teach on, the where the Stoke Clinic is also a big part of it. But you can hit like on a 63 millimeter fatty hog wheel, we radar a kid at 30 miles an hour. Like, so it's not hard to go fast accidentally around here. And so a lot of people will start out on a discount board because they don't know if they like it, and instantly find themselves at the top end of that board's capability. And then they're at the end of those things and then they get destroyed before they even have a chance to coast, man, and just enjoy the wind in their hair, dude. So our big thing at the Stowe Clinic, like, we start people out by teaching them how to foot brake. If they've never stood on a skateboard before, there's a way. We have a little game that we play that we can kind of trick people into skating, basically. Because we've got like 3-year-olds to 69-year-olds. We got people that have never stepped foot on skateboards before, sponsored riders. It's such a cool mix of people and skill levels and even physical abilities in a lot of cases. It's been really, really, it's been a cool thing to not only get people hopefully started in a way that won't injure them right out the gate, and also learn how to teach that kind of more effectively. Yeah, so we teach foot braking first, and then we go from foot braking and work on carving and pumping. And then from there, we a new addition that we just started doing this year was we take them on a little cruise, because one of the cool things about Kessler Park, where we teach at, is it is the flattest 2.5 miles in Kansas City. There's only 41 feet of elevation gain and drop across that whole thing. And there's no cars allowed in the park. Just a really, really cool place. And so we take them on a little cruise to this waterfall, and they come back. And then if they want to practice, if they want to start going up the hill a little bit, we start them at the bottom. And then we got dudes, the other side of the hill, that we're kind of situated in this island or whatever at the bottom. And there's the go fast side, basically, and there's dudes doing 30, 35, full view of brand new riders, so they get to see how fast they're going. They get to see how their foot is positioned. And so that's been kind of the goal, like, sweet, like, let me get people started. And if they're really, really excited about that, and they keep moving and they're inspired to keep moving in this way, like, okay, even if they can't tolerate the way I taught, if I can get them skating and I can teach them to slow down, they don't ever have to come back to another Stoke clinic if they don't want. But what's really, really cool is at that upper end skill level where it starts to get, kind of like there's some serious consequence going on,
Hmm.
the community steps up and is really, really open to, new people asking questions, kind of challenging some things that maybe newer people are kind of assuming about, going faster or doing more technical stuff. Like, I'm hesitant to say that we teach it because of, I mean, it's some high risk stuff. Um, and especially before, I get, a brand new writer who comes along and they're like, "Oh, I want to learn to go, 35 miles an hour on my board." I'm like, "Okay, dude, well, do you know how to foot brake?" And they're like, "I don't even know if I'm goofy or regular." Like, okay, well, there's some things we should figure out first before we start going, before you start standing on your board. Like, let's go through these things that you need to kind of know and have a loose understanding of.
Right.
But generally, in like a 2 hour period, man, we've got people started enough that, like I said, it's a few people that don't ever come back. They learn just enough, or they come to 2 or 3 clinics and figure out what kind of boards, because we've got the boards. We've got some boards that Loaded donated to
Very
us.
cool.
And yeah, really, really cool guys, and some wheels. It's all outfitted out, really, really good things. And the whole community brings their quivers out. So sometimes there's stuff the shop doesn't have anymore because they're older stock, items. Or
Right.
But what's cool is that, like, everyone's chill with everyone kind of using it and testing it and getting it kind of dinged up in a lot of ways. And so once again, the community just kind of comes through and knocks it out of the park, dude, and makes everyone feel welcome. And we've got a high number of like kids on the spectrum that come out. And dude, we get along well with those dudes. Like, those guys are really, really, we have just an absolute blast. Like, yeah, really, really, really fun stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the community is a huge part of that, right? Making
Yep.
people feel welcome and making people feel comfortable. You pointed out sort of the two ends of what you see is some people who are overconfident and they just want to go fast right away. And then on the other side, there's people who are timid and they are, more cautious. They're even maybe scared to ask questions, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a lot of skateboard culture that kind of has made, like, sometimes asking questions like, "Oh, you don't know," and then, they're, you're not a part of the cool kids club or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of that around, man. And that's dude, I get kids that, dude, we have this amazing experience of setting up their first skateboard, and the first question they ask right before they leave is like, "Well, like, if I'm holding my trucks like this way,
Yeah.
like, if they're mall grabbing it, basically, like, dude, what about people that don't like me mall grabbing my board?" And me even having to address that to a 10-year-old, like, just kind of rages me out, dude. Like, I'm like, man, like, a 10-year-old, like, gets who's giving you, like, look, I'm like, dude, if anyone is making fun of you about any of the goofy ways you hold your skateboard, you don't have to listen to a single word they say. I was like, those people don't have enough sense. Like, it's skateboard, it's a toy, dude. Calm down. Like,
That's just it. It's
like,
like
dude, holy cow, it's not that serious.
all this stuff that people have made up in the past. People used to make fun of the skateboarders, and then recently people made fun of scooters, right? And now scooters are badass again. Maybe they're not badass yet, but they will be soon,
They've
right?
definitely gotten badass.
That's what
Look,
I
there's
thought.
some
Yeah.
scooter dudes. I would not do some stuff. Some of those scooter guys, oh my God. Like, that's not my jam, but whew.
Yeah, and that's what I mean is like it's not popular now, but it's always been cool, right? It's just waiting for people to get over it.
Yeah, kind of it's like, look, dude, we all got silly things we like to do. Like, just because it's not your thing, like, take some breaths, dude. Like, it's all made up, homie. Just breathe.
You don't
Just
look any
breathe.
less goofy on a street skateboard, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. You look in knowing what I know about longboarding and the difference of moving through like an area on one or the other, like I'm like, man, I'm gonna look goofy, but at least I'm gonna be comfortable. I want some big wheels. Give me some like
100 millimeter, just
yeah, man. Give
cruising
me
through.
give me some 80 mils and up, dude. Let me be able to keep a plus 10 miles an hour pace relatively
Uh huh.
easier than otherwise.
So, quick question about the Stoke clinics. Do you need waivers for like under 18 or anything like that? Like, how do you handle all that stuff?
So this is part of the gray area that we operate in.
We
I
can edit
don't
this
get
out if you want.
if you want to. I mean, I'm pretty open with it. I mean, we're a really we're a chill shop. We're not well. I mean, we're a chill shop, dude. We're not a very rich shop. We're not like there's no way I would have enough money to have a lawyer. No way in hell. Like, dude, I couldn't even like, no, thank you.
Uh huh.
And so we kind of ride this gray area of I am overly communicative with every single person that comes in the store about the dangers of what we're doing. Crazy stuff can happen. Like you could jack yourself up just stepping off your skateboard. We provide helmets, we provide wrist guards, we provide knee pads. I feel that we're doing a good enough job. And really, like, if I was a lawyer and that lawyer goes to their website, okay, how much is this target worth? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this guy is actually broke as fuck, and his shop probably, if he was any type of probably normal person, he would have closed his business down 5 years ago, and not kept being a sustainability experimentalist and it's a passion project is what I love to do, you know what I mean? Like, and I work so dang hard to learn all the stuff to continue operating it, but it's not a fancy shop at all, at all. And I do a lot of stuff, on my own, and it's just kind of how it is. And that's one of the things is, dude, I full on all the time. And there's only so much time you can do. And so with the waivers, I'm like, look, like, and there's been unfortunately some people who are like, hey, like, I'm not physically fit enough to make it to the bottom of the hill. And I'm like, if you can't walk to the bottom of the hill, like, there's nothing, like, I don't even know that it's a good idea that,
That's part of the entries.
yeah, I'm like, man, and I kind of make our flyer a little bit. It's not vague. There's there's some things on there that'll help you find it. And there's some people that can't figure the flyer out. So there's things that I've done, I feel like, to kind of like hopefully capable people that can figure stuff out, like, are the ones that make it to the bottom of the hill. And then we can kind of teach and stuff like that. And we've been doing it long enough now that we've got this kind of formula to it. And it's been interesting because people are chaos, dude. Like, you can put all the information in the world on our flyer. It says bring a water bottle. Like, you don't need to bring anything else. Bring a refillable water bottle. I'm not carrying 30 half empty freaking bottles of water back up the hill when we're done with this. Once again, there's no cars allowed in the park. So we haul everything to the bottom of the hill because we have to park at the top of the hill
Sure.
outside the park, and then walk down that thing two, three, or four times, however long it takes to get all the gear down there, and then we haul it back up. And so I still get people, is there anything to drink around here? And did you bring a water bottle? Huh? And I'm like,
I do appreciate the attempts you've made to essentially stupid proof the event.
oh, dude, there's no amount of that. That people are gloriously creative. Like, they don't even it is been amazing to me, kind of changing the flyer through the years because I've kept all the old flyers and presenting the information in different ways, and people still find ways to just be like to read stuff differently than what I intended them to read it, basically. And it's like, okay, crap, like that kind of messes up the flow. Ooh, next year I'm not going to do this. Next year I'm not going to have this on there. So yeah, it's been wild. But yeah, so that's why I don't really have waivers. It just kind of hopefully works out for the most part, I guess. And so far, dude, it's been 9 years. We've only ever had to call the ambulance once, and it's such kind of a wild park, dude. If not for us, it would have taken them a lot longer than an hour and a half to get into the park. Like, they don't have addresses in the park, so if we call 911, like, this lady totally just came off the board, stepped off the board with her front foot, and dude jacked her ankle up. It
Damn,
was heinous. It was heinous, dude. Heinous, 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 heinous.
that's brutal.
And like I was like, dude, I'm not medically trained. I'm a retail dude. Like, I just love skateboarding. Like, like I'm not touching your ankle to do any type of fixing on it or anything. But we made her really, really comfortable. We got the ambulance down there because we knew the ins and outs of the park. We were able to get the ambulance in and out of there a lot faster than they would have otherwise. But in the 9 years of us doing it, that is the worst thing that's ever happened, and we've still not had any issues or anyone threaten to sue us. Knock on wood. I mean, we've got a really cool community. So, dude, I'm so dang passionate about it. Like, it's such a part of what we do. I think that at this point in time, like, even if I'm like, yo, and there might be a time, dude, where it comes up where the city's like, you can't do this anymore. You know, you're hurting people and yada yada yada, and that would be a bummer. But I think even if the city made me stop advertising Stoke clinics and doing that sort of stuff, the session would still go on. Like, people would still show up on the second Sunday and skate it. And I probably would still show up on the second
Yeah,
Sunday and still skate it. Maybe we can't bring boards and stuff like that, but I would still bring my own board and then teach anyone that showed up. We would just have to do it differently. I really feel that it would just kind of change. And that's kind of, I know, like the tough part of doing like events and things like that. You want to do things right, you want to do things safely, you want to do things in a way that is sustainable, I feel like natural to the community's flow, and really, you don't want to make it easy, but you want to make it not a hassle to come to the event and do things.
yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So I guess if you could briefly tell me about the Straupen Camp 2023.
This is an event that has gone through many changes through the year, and just like you have an idea around an event, and then you're like, okay, what gets people stoked to come out and spend the time traveling to your location, all these different little things with any type of events, right? So Straupen Camp started, really the first idea of it came when I discovered that there was a state park 69 miles away from the shop. Like,
Nice.
I didn't even make that up. So it's even cooler that it's 69. Like 69.08. But if it's not the full mile, it doesn't count, right? So anyway, 69 miles from the shop is this state park that you can pitch a tent and camp in, right? And we discovered this when I got to skate from St. Louis to Kansas City. And this is a park that we stayed at. And I was like, yo, 69 miles from the shop, like that would be cool. Like that you could skate there, camp out, and then skate back the next day, like a double 69-mile day. It's legal to skate on, and we're basically on a state highway
Oh wow.
with a okay shoulder. But it's fully legal for us to be there. Like, literally nothing they could do about it other than stop us. Oh, hey, you're wearing helmets. Wow, you guys actually kind of move. I didn't expect, like it was really, really cool. Like, we're allowed to do this. This is part of our rights as citizens. And so we just turned it into an event called the Knob Noster Nasty.
That's cool.
And so we did that for several years. It was a tricky one because it was 12-mile kick out of town. And so we had to have everyone kind of stay close by there. And then once we got to like the main straight of the way of the highway, it's almost a straight shot highway with these, dude, like it's such a trippy thing to be able to look 5 miles out and see the exit that you're skating towards. And then you drop down into a valley and then come back over, and it's still that far away. And so you're doing these like, dude, half mile to mile long up hills. The downhill was so garbage and rocky that you couldn't, like, you had to push even going downhill.
That's vicious.
You couldn't never like coast really, right? And so it is really brutal. And then on top of that, it's in June, Father's Day weekend. It's 100-degree temperature, full sun, no shade on the highway at all. It was a brutal
That's
event.
incredible, honestly, that you were able to do that
It was
even.
it was nuts. It was awesome. I
Yeah.
loved it, dude. I loved it. Well, that eventually we discovered that we had a lake to the north of us, about an hour, in Smithville. This is where the trail. It's a 20-mile, about it's a 20-ish, 22, 21-mile top to bottom paved trail, generally paved trail, and the trail runs right through the middle of all of the campgrounds. So you could, you rent your tent spot for the day, and we could have an aid station set up right next to the campground. And so people could bring their kids a little bit way easier to set up checkpoints, because it's about 20-mile intervals and stuff like that. If you do have to evac, way easier to get to. We don't have to worry about anyone accidentally hitting the trailer cars or any of that sort of stuff. And so then it was just kind of like, okay, well, what's some other cool features about this? Like, if people don't necessarily want to just like hang out and do distance, like what do they want to do? So we did, the first one was boards and baskets, because also at Smithville Lake, they've got these 3 different disc golf courses basically around, so people could go throw discs if they wanted. That year it ended up flooding, so like there was only 5 miles of trail available above water. All of the disc golf course was completely underwater, so no one could throw discs, and it was 5 miles of trail that was this gross cracky trail kind of thing.
Jeez.
So and we had a good turnout for that. The next year we did kendamas, and that year was really brutal because it was extra hot. And dude, in all of these different iterations, whatever, like there's always something would go wrong. Dude, one year I forgot my freaking hydration bag, so I had to drive all the way back to get. One year I forgot my skateboard shoes, dude.
Classic.
Like I had flip flops the whole time, like chilling, and then skate shoes right next to the door. It was brutal. Brutal. But this year was really, really cool. And every year we've tried to raise money for the Shoppers Union, basically, because we use those Shoppers Union funds then to buy helmets and equipment, safety gear for our
That's
stoke
really
clinics.
cool. So I guess Shroupers
I
Union.
think we're about to run out of time.
Yeah, we don't have enough time to talk about the union, I don't think, in its full glory. Give it the time it deserves, right? But real quick, you're the president of the Shroupers Union.
Yes.
What is the union? What are we doing? What is it doing now?
It is trying to survive, is what it's trying to do right now. Shoppers Union is the current mission, other than survival. The ideal is we've got all of these amazing leaders in our communities, and a lot of these amazing leaders wanting to do really, really cool events and build communities. And there's not a lot of resources out there for those people. One of the things that Noel used to say all the time was that, especially when he'd find, like when he found us, he was like, you guys are doing exactly what I want to do with the union before you even knew what the union was. Like Shroupers are Shroupers before they just always tend to follow this. We want to do cool shit in our communities and have fun and spread positivity, high fives and positive vibes across all board sports. That's our main jam. And if we could empower these community leaders to be able to do that, and to do that in a safe way and build our communities, that's our major focus.
I think that's incredible. And I remember, hanging out with Noel and when the union was first starting up, and how much traction it was able to get. There were chapters all over the country, chapters starting
Yep.
internationally too, right? So
Yeah. We just got we got a chapter in the Czech Republic just here recently, dude. That guy's been killing it, man. Repping hard
that's so cool.
and slinging them high fives and positive vibes.
So Shrouders Union, we'll have to do another session for that. I'll have to book some time with you, and we can do Joseph Burnham Part 2, the Shrouders Union effect.
Booyah!
And that'll be fun.
Hell yeah.
I guess before we sign off, before we let you go, is there anything you want to get out there that we didn't cover today? Maybe it's not even related to skateboarding at all, but is there something you want to say?
What else is there but skateboarding?
Fair.
Oh man, I don't know. Man, get off your phones, get off social media, and go and skateboard. Like, seriously, if you're angry at a Facebook comment on a Facebook forum about longboarding instead of going out and longboarding or skateboarding, then just shut the crap off, dude, and go out and skate. Go out and skate.
I
Go out and
love it.
skate with your homies. And if your homies can't skate, then help them get there.
If your homies can't skate, then you either have extra skating to do or teaching to do.
Yeah, you got a lot of work to do. You got a lot of work to do, dude. A lot of work.
Next question before we let you go, where are we going to see you next? What's the next thing for Joe?
This year has been the past 2 years have been extra challenging. So I have this year especially, pretty much stuck to the Kansas City area. I can't really go out, and I won't unfortunately be at Broadway Bomb this year, which is a bummer. I freaking love Broadway Bomb. Oh my
It's an
God,
amazing
dude.
event.
It's my favorite thing to do every single year. Oh my God. So the big thing this year is just, keeping the shop rocking. We were making skateboards there for a while under pocket change. That was really, really cool. We need to find a new space for that. So that's kind of stressful, but just keeping it moving, dude. That's where I'll be in Kansas City this year. So if anyone wants to come and play skateboards, dude, first Sundays are guaranteed pushes, second Sundays are guaranteed Stoke clinics, and third, fourth, fifth bonus Sundays, hit me up and we can skate. Because the shop's open like Monday through Saturday. So I gotta be
Well,
there.
you've pointed out clearly that you're doing stuff out there in Kansas City area and that there's plenty of pushers and plenty of places to skate.
There's never enough pushers though. There's never enough
Never enough.
homies to skate with. That's why we
Yeah.
work so hard, is we want more homies to skate with. We want to go to cool places that have amazing traditions like New York City and stuff like that, like and get to participate in those pretty unique, amazing experiences, man. Like, even if you don't win, what a deal,
I mean,
dude.
your
What a deal.
9-year tradition of the skate clinics is really impressive. So, Pat, kudos to you for that.
Thanks, man. I love doing them. They're so much fun.
I
They're
mean, the fact that
ridiculously
your
fun.
community has been able to hold that together for so long is just as impressive as Broadway Bomb, honestly. Like, really good job.
It'd be cool to one day have that 20th year of
You'll get
Stoke
there. You'll
clinics.
get
That'd
there.
be that'd be pretty rad. Just one day at a time, dude. Just 1 month at a time.
You can't get there any faster, right?
No, exactly, dude. It's just that is probably the real deal. Like as much as okay, business isn't as good as we'd like. Like I said, dude, it's not good as we like, but that's why we work so hard. And there's some cool stuff we can still do. There's cool stuff out there to be done, and the more people doing what they can with what they got. Like I said, we're not a fancy shop, man, but I love skating with my community, and so doing fun events and maybe skirting some rules a little bit is kind of a no-no, but whatever. I love being able to do it, dude, and I get to keep doing it longer. I get to keep doing it in 1 more month. Bet. Like, let's go 1 more month, let's do it, and then next month, sweet, I get to do something else. But yeah, it's a
Yeah.
cool gig.
So with that, any social media, any sort of, I mean, you just said to get off social media, right? But it's
Get off social media and go skateboarding. No, only get off social media if it's not
right.
serving you, man. Like, you can use it really, really well to help communicate what you're about and what your community is about, if that's what you want to do.
And do you have a handle that you want to plug?
Yep. So we've got basically Burning Spider Stoke Company, Burning Spider Stoke Company on Instagram, Burning Spider Stoke Company on YouTube. Our YouTube channel has been one we've been working on a lot. Burning Spider Stoke Company on Facebook, Google, burningspiderstokecompany.com as our website. Direct link to Discord from there. But that's probably the Discord are the biggies, I would say.
Awesome.
And then Instagram, YouTube. Check out that YouTube channel. There's a lot of fun stuff on there. We're not very serious people, so there's lots of cussing, just silliness that is what skateboarding is about to us.
I'll make sure to throw those links with the episode, and people will see them.
Thanks, dude.
But honestly, Joe, thanks for coming on. You've delivered more than I even could have asked for.
Dude, look, you let me know. We'll make it happen. Absolutely, every single time. Faux show.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Thank you.